Hi everybody, this is Ms. Fahina. Today we're going to be going over the pre-AP question for test number 2. So it says, Steve and his brother Jackson have separate investment accounts. The table below shows the value of each brother's account after a given number of months. So we have the months on top, Steve is second, and Jackson is the third row. So the first question, what systems of equations can be used to represent the balance in each of the two brothers' accounts given any number of months have passed? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our calculator in the list and spreadsheet function, and we're going to do it 2 different times. The first time we're going to use the months as our x value, and we're going to use Steve as our y value. Okay, so that's going to be our first equation. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my calculator. Okay, and I want a new document, and I want it to be the list and spreadsheet. So new document, list and spreadsheet. So when I get here, I'm going to type in X next to A and Y next to B. Okay, from here, I'm going to type in the months under the X column and the value for Steve under the Y column. So my months are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then I go under the Y column and I'm going to type in his money. So he has 200, 202.50, 205, 207.5, and 215. Okay, so again, that is Steve's bank account. So I go menu, statistics, stat calculations, linear regression, mx plus b. For X list, I type in X. For Y list, I type in Y, and I hit OK. So I'm looking for the equation. So I want the 2.5 and the 200, the M and the B. And so for Steve, and I'm going to write it down below. So for Steve, his equation would be y equals 2.5x plus 200. Okay. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to change just the y values to what would work for Jackson. So Jackson started with 500, 491, 482, 473, and 446. So as I did that, it automatically updated. So my M for this is a -9, and the B is 500. So Jackson would be -9x plus 500. So we did that by using list and spreadsheets, okay, times 2. Okay, so times 2 means we did it for Steve and then we did it for Jackson. Okay, now after how many months will the balance in Joe's account begin to be less than the balance in Steve's account? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our graphing feature in our calculator and we're going to type in both equations. This is going to be my F1 and this is going to be my F2, and then we're going to look at the tables to see when and it's supposed to, it says Joe. It's supposed to say, I think Jackson. Yeah. So that's supposed to say Jackson. Okay. So we want to see when Jackson's account is less than Steve's. So again, we go to our calculator and we're going to go discard my changes. We want to go to the graph part. And again, we're going to type in the first equation. So the f of x means y. So we had 2.5 x plus 200, and then I hit the down arrow for the second one, and that would be a -9x plus 500, and then I hit enter, and I'm gonna have to zoom out to see the graphs if I needed to, but I want to look at the table, so I'm gonna hit Control T, or we can go to Menu, table, split screen table. And now when I look at it, the first one represents Steve, the second one represents Jackson, and we want to see when Jackson is less than Steve. So if we're looking, we're just scrolling down. We look at 26 months. Steve is still a little less, but when we get to 27 months, Steve now has more than Jackson. So our answer would be 27. So you're kind of looking to see when does the first column, the one that's under the blue function, get bigger than the one that's under the red, and that's not down until 27, and when we get to 27, that's when Steve has more than Jackson. So our answer would be 27 months. Okay, if we wanted to do this by hand, we would set the equations equal to each other and end up solving for x. But right here tells us just by looking at the calculator. So this can all be done on your calculator. If you have any questions, please make sure you reach out to us before the test so we can help you. Other than that, have a great day, Rangers.